I have searched high and low for the ultimate mic stand for my desk, and I'm happy to say I finally found it, but it's definitely not this one. So stick with me. I'm going to show you the best mic stand for your desk. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, my name is Patrick. I'm a worship pastor and a content creator living in New York City, and I am here to encourage, equip, and empower worship leaders and content creators wherever they find themselves on that journey. So please feel free to check out my website, follow me on Instagram. I've got a lot going on in all of the different spaces. And speaking of having a lot going on, right on the other side of this wall is my desk, and I film videos there all the time. It could be something very simple like a podcast or training materials for my team at church, or full-length YouTube videos, short-form content. It's important for me to have really great audio sources, not just this great microphone that's attached to my camera right now, or the DJI mic attached to my shirt right now, but a desk microphone that allows me to have that podcast commercial sounding voice is important for the live streams that I do and for the meetings that I have. And every single person in the world has seen that super cheap $20 mic stand that attaches to your desk that has the springs that are really loud on it and it can't hold a lot of weight. And that's not what we're talking about today. If budget is a concern for you, please make sure you go and check out some of those cheapo mic stands. They do work, but they're just not as high quality as something like I'm going to show you today. So moving away from those microphones, I really got into the low profile mic stands here. And I know that I'm not at my desk over there that I'm usually at because I wanted everything out of the way so you could really see how these mic stands work. Because normally I have a screen right here. So being able to tuck my mic stand down, even tuck the microphone down and just kind of scoot it under the screen out of the way has been really important to me for a very long time. So I've always had a low profile mic stand like this ever since I found out that these were even a thing. And they do come sturdy. You know, as you can see, there's quite a bit of tension to this thing, but that will loosen over time. It wasn't perfect, but it's worked for a long time. And this is a stand made by Mayano. And you might be looking... Mayano? I don't know. You might be looking at this stand going, actually, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Some people store it like this, right under their screen and their peripherals that are also attached to their desk. I would often just, when I was done, instead of storing it like that, I would tuck this way and move it off to the side. But I've found something even better. Now, going from that $20 spring-loaded mic stand where you could hear it creaking every time it moved and it, looked... It's just not my favorite, as you can probably tell. Moving from that to this, you're probably going to be spending about $40-50 for something like this. So again, we're not spending tons and tons of money. And if you want to jump way high up in price, many of the podcasts you see out there from famous podcasters use a mic stand that's probably around $300. Like you can see this on Joe Rogan's podcast or other famous podcasts that you might check out. But between that and this is a really cost-effective, really high-quality mic stand. I can't wait to show it to you. Let me just go grab it real quick. So this is a mic stand made by Neewer. I don't remember... Oh, that was loud. As you can see, even as I'm putting it down, this thing has some heft to it. It's really high quality. I've never had an issue with it like I've had with these other mic stands. This is made by Neewer, like I said, and right away you can feel some differences when you're, and I know this doesn't translate on video, but if you go over to Amazon and pick one of these up or pick both of them up, or you go to a store and try them out, you'll notice that between this and this feels higher quality than one of those $20 stands you might get. But when you go from this mic stand here to the Neewer, I mean, there is such a jump in quality. So let me go ahead and get this attached to the desk. You'll notice that this mic stand has a bit of a smaller base to it, while the Neewer does have this big bass. Big back, big bass. Big bass. I don't know. Okay. I do have one complaint right off the bat. Tom Buck brought this up in his video, which is why I started checking out this mic stand to begin with. Thank you, Tom. One day we will record a podcast together. But one thing Tom brought up is the fact that most of these mic stands have padding on both the top and the bottom. This has padding here, so when it sits on the desk, it's not going to hurt, like dig into your desk with metal or plastic. But on the bottom, this metal part, there is no padding. So when I I got caught on my desk there. So when I attach this to my desk, I do have to be careful not to screw down too much or I might damage the wood. Now I could go get a piece of belt or something and put it between the wrench down there, the screw down there, and the desk. But I mean, it's the underside of the desk. Whatever. So that's not a huge gripe for me, but it is something that I would just want to bring up to you if that's going to be really disheartening for your aesthetic. Now from here, I go ahead and just take the low profile stand and just connect it, and I'm done. So if I look at these two stands just right out of the box, no customization or nothing, as you can see, this mic stand will reach the edge of a 24-inch desk. It's 24 inches in depth. But that's about all it's going to do. And if you want it to get out of the way or a little bit more low profile, the more you move it, it's quickly moving away from the subject, which is what you don't want. Now, when we look over here at the Neewer, I mean, we have room to spare. I have maybe 6, or if I bend it down, I mean, I've got maybe 6 to 8 inches more length out of this guy, but it's not taking up all of the room on your desk, because when I'm done, once again, I just fold this up, and very similarly to the Mayano, it's very much out of the way, as you can see, and then when I want it, it comes out so easily. I've got all the room in the world to have my mic right in front of me. No drama here as far as reaching the limit of what this microphone can reach to. If I go, I want to stand one day and I stand up and I want the microphone up here, that's fine. And then when I want to sit down here, I could even go way off to the side here and have it just off to the side, and I'm not having to manipulate this or adjust to this. It just does that for me. Whereas if I wanted this microphone off to the side, yeah, it might reach, but it just doesn't have that same adjustability that the Neewer has. And also, when I press down on these things, I mean, this guy, it just feels like it's fighting me a little bit, but I press down on this stand and it is just so easily moving anywhere I want. With all of this design built in, I wish though that the Neewer did have some channels for running cables. All it has on the bottom here are hooks for attaching cables, whereas most of these other mic stands have some sort of a panel that you can pull off to connect cables basically within the stand that are almost invisible. So I think with some of this heft, you miss out on that, because inside of here are just tons of springs, or maybe not tons of springs, a couple of springs that are heavy duty, making this work well. You also have some adjustments on the top. You have Allen wrench sections 1, 2, and 3, and you'll see plus and minus signs to loosen the tension of the mic stand or tighten it. I absolutely love that. And here's one of the reasons why. Not only is this stand being used for microphones, but I've seen tons of people use this stand. If I could just detach it here. For things like, that took way longer than it should have. Very, very tight. I've seen people use this stand for things like, look how tight that is. For things like lights and teleprompters. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Sony ZV-E10 real quick. Okay. I'm going to throw the Sony ZV-E10 right onto the stand here and screw it in. And while I'm using this for my microphone, which by the way is not a light microphone. This is a Samson Q9U. So your SM7Bs, your SM7DBs, your Audio Technicas, everybody's favorite podcasting mics and desk mics are going to be held very well with this Neewer stand. But not only that, if I tighten this down and move this back, look at that. I have a desk camera. I'd probably want to move that down a bit. Look at that. Wow. As a matter of fact, I've seen some creators use this stand. Omar El Takrori, a creator that I really love, used to be involved with Think Media and is out doing all of this amazing stuff. I've had him on my podcast before, link in the description. He uses this stand for the Elgato prompter. So right out of the box, I'm sure that Neewer knew people were going to use this for not just microphones, seeing as how sturdy it is. So they've added a ton of attachments. They've added mini attachments. They've added mini tried again and I said it wrong again. Oh my gosh. They've added some attachments and some adapters to the stand itself so that you can attach all of your goodies. But I'm going to put my microphone back on here because that's what I use it for primarily. Oh, you know what else I really like about this mic stand is when I move it, let's just actually be quiet for a second and here's what I'm hearing in the room. When I move this stand, you can actually hear some movement. I'm hearing the lighting fan behind me. But when I move this stand here, nothing at all. I mean, you hear my finger rubbing up against it. But it's almost silent. I love that. I'm going to be honest with you. I do not remember the cost of this microphone, but I can look it up for you real quick. I can look it up for you. Hold on. Okay, so this mic is $75 with a 15% discount right now. And if you wait for a Black Friday or a Prime Deals Day or a Cyber Monday, it's obviously going to be even cheaper. If you're waiting for that perfect desk stand for a microphone, for a teleprompter, for a light, or for even a camera, this is it. Look no further. By the way, I did not get this for free. No one is paying me to say this. I went out and bought this with my own money. I saw Tom Buck review it and I said, I've got to have that. I waited months for it to be back in stock and here it is. That's why I got it. Guys, I forgot, but I actually had one of these laying around. When you compare this stand to this stand to this stand, I mean, all the springs, it's so loud. Look, and just it's filled with tension. I don't know how else to say it. You know, this noise, like the most noisy, the most cheap, which again, if this is all that's in your budget, I totally get it. That's why I started with one or two of these. But then I moved to this guy, but I found a perfect mic stand in the Neewer. And one thing I will say that I love about this Neewer stand is the branding. Now, obviously, if you have the mic over here, the stand over here. But when I move this towards my face, what you guys don't see is that the branding of the microphone is right here. And yeah, I don't want to disparage companies showing off their products by saying, hey, look, we made this. Here's our logo. Here's our name. But I mean, you have this big yellow, you know, Mayano here. But then you just have this subtle Neewer right here, which if it was on this side of the desk and I was using the mic, it would probably be very hard to see, but having it on the right side of my desk, your left, my right, you just don't see it at all. So the branding is even hidden. Noisy, loud. Ow, actually, it literally just pinched me. Loud branding. Not great, but better. And then absolutely perfect. Oh my gosh, branding hidden. Silent mic stand. That extends so much further and gives me so much more mounting options. It's a no-brainer. But people, if you're thinking this is going to make you a great content creator, no, there's way more than that. It's not just about accessories. It's not just about audio. It's not just about video. It's not just about lighting. It's not just about writing a good script. There are so many things that go into making a good content creator, which is why you should watch this video right here. You'll love it.